Good morning, Math 2. It's Monday, March 30th, 2020. This is Unit 11.5, Quadratic Formula and Applications. All right, I hope you guys had a good weekend. Hopefully you just got done watching the video of Unit 11.4 review or the mid-unit review using the quadratic formula. All right, so this is pretty much kind of a wrap-up of the unit. We have doing several different things, and we actually get drawn back to some stuff we did last unit. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm only going to do, I think, 3 problems for you that should kind of give you a good head start. And we did a lot of the quadratic formula stuff, and I talked about the 4 ways we have to solve quadratic equations. Okay, one, by solving is what I call it, and that's when you only have one x in your equation. Usually it's an x squared, okay? And then we get the x squared by itself and we take the square root of both sides. Okay, the second way we had was to factor. If you have a trinomial or a binomial that you can factor into 2 smaller binomials, and then you set each factor equal to 0 and you solve. And then we had completing the square. And you guys hopefully are pretty familiar with that technique right now. It's where you add something to both sides to complete a trinomial square, which then gives you x plus something squared. So you can take the square root of both sides, and then we learned the quadratic formula. And now the quadratic formula is really the only one that'll work for any quadratic equation. So this one will always work. These 3 are used during different situations. Alright, so let's take a look. 1 through 4, solve using the quadratic formula. Simplify your answers in decimal form to the nearest hundreds. Okay, so you know what, I guess maybe I have my iPhone here. I can try and simplify that for us. I haven't been making you guys do that because I know a lot of you don't have that calculator at home. If you do have a smartphone, you can do that. You just got to be a little more careful because it doesn't work like our calculators at school. But let's see here. Let's do number 3. So remember, before we can solve by using the quadratic formula, we need to get this into standard form and set equal to 0. So we'll move this stuff to over here by adding the opposite to both sides. On this side, 2x minus 2x is 0, and negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And over here we get x squared. Negative 2x plus negative 2x is negative 4x, and negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Okay, let's identify our a, our b, and our c. And now let's just carefully plug it into the quadratic formula. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, if you carefully get it plugged in, especially right here is where a lot of mistakes are made because it's the opposite of whatever b is. Sometimes you guys forget one of the negatives. So x becomes 4 plus or minus the square root of 16. Negative 4 squared is negative 4 times negative 4, or 16. Okay, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. I'm not going to end up with an I, over 2. So x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 28 over 2. 28 is 2 times 2 times 7, so hopefully you guys are getting better at simplifying simple radicals. 2 root 7 over 2. Alright, what do you see? A triangle of factors of 2, so I'm going to reduce each of these by a factor of 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, plus or minus 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we'll just leave it as the square root of 7. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we have a final answer of 2 plus or minus the square root of 7. I'll leave the other 3 for you to do. Okay, 5 through 8, find the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Okay, so this is completing the square, but we do it all on one side. Y equals negative 2x squared plus 12x plus some number. I kind of ran out of room here, so I'm going to put it down here. Minus 13 minus that number. If I'm going to add it on the inside, I have to subtract it on the outside. Okay, now, you got to remember, this one is probably the most tricky we've done here. So it's y equals, I'm going to factor out that negative 2 because in order to complete the square, we need to have x squared to the have a coefficient of 1. See, now x squared has a coefficient of 1 because negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. But that's going to change things because negative 2 times negative 6x will give us positive 12x. Negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 6x is positive 6x. Okay, what are we going to add here? Well, what's half of 6 squared? Half of 6 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. Okay, minus the 13, and minus, not 9 though, remember, negative 2 times 9, negative 2 times 9 is positive 18. So we're actually adding, negative 18. Believe it or not, we're adding negative 18, so we have to subtract negative 18. Okay, because negative 2 times 9 would up here would really be negative 18. So we have to subtract that down here. I know it's tricky. So y equals negative 2, and this reduces to, or factors to, x minus 3 squared. And then let's see, what do we got here? We add the opposite. We really have negative 13 plus 18, which is 5. So our vertex form is, well, no, they just want the vertex form. So we have vertex form here. So we know our vertex is 3, 5. And our axis symmetry is x equals 3. Alright, that's a pretty good one. Okay, number 9. Alright, this is one of those real world situations, so you have to find the vertex because the vertex will tell you the maximum profit and how long it'll take you to get that maximum profit. Or what is the maximum profit and what t-shirt price yields the maximum profit. So get that from the vertex. Okay, and we'll do one like this right now.